Show started. It's, of course, the show we call Box Seats, where we talk about sports with comedians. My man Talent is in the building, first and foremost, as usual. What's up, T? How you doing this morning, bro?
Enjoying the season changing, brother. This is my favorite time of year, right?
Yeah. You know, it used to not be mine, but now as I'm getting older and I'm not liking the heat as much, I'm starting to like this myself. My man Fig is in the building too. Fig, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm in the building and I'm about to do my thing. I got a new system set up.
Okay. My man Mike Sean is in the building too. Mike Sean, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Okay, Fig, got headphones, the whole thing. Okay.
Yes, sir. I got the dope microphone too.
Wait a minute.
Yo, you need to stop sweating, Mike. I gave Mike an award yesterday, and you go out and buy a whole new system.
What do you mean you gave me an award? What? I missed that. What did I miss?
We was like saying if there was awards for this show, who would win what, and I gave Mike the best system and microphone award yesterday. And here you come, gonna buy a new. Just coincident, huh? Coincidental?
No, hey Frank, tell him I had this mic.
Put his coffee mug up.
No, I had a mic. I just needed the headset to go with it because it wasn't working without the headset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell him put the coffee mug up like this.
I know, but as in, that's none of my business.
Yeah, we all got something, don't we? We all got something.
Oh my God.
All right, so let's get ready to jump in. Shouts out to everybody who's watching today, and obviously the people who continue to participate. The show's called Box Seat. Shout out to Renee, who made me aware that today is this month actually is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and because of that, she even sent me a story this morning. I didn't even know. I wasn't aware that Tiffany Jackson died Monday night after a 7-year battle with breast cancer. She was the University of Texas assistant coach. She played 4 years at Texas, where she became the only player Longhorns women's basketball history with 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 300 steals, and 150 blocks. She was drafted number 5 by the New York Liberty in 2007. She is Hall of Fame material. Right about now, she passed away. You want to give a quick shout out, say something about, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, bro?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's a family left, especially in this country, that's unaffected in some form or fashion by breast cancer in the form of cancer. So, as you see, I'm wearing like the merchandise Talent hoodie, but this month, every year, I do a special tribute to breast cancer awareness. I work for a couple of those organizations to raise funds for the awareness. And I change my merch up and do a pink line, just a few hundred pieces, limited, stuff with the big ribbon on it, just to constantly keep it in people's mind that, it's out there and we need to be well aware. And nowadays we need to be more advanced because we grew up a long time worrying about the women, but men too, breast cancer is breast cancer. So it crosses the line of gender. It don't matter if you're male or female. Whatever you identify as, all y'all need to get checked because it's that serious. Just like that. This year we focusing on the survivors.
Yeah. My mom passed away from breast cancer, and my stepmom had it, and she didn't get past that too. So it does hit home. That's why I wanted to touch base on that. Man, Fig, man, you want to give a quick shout out to Tiffany Jackson and talk about breast cancer awareness real fast?
Absolutely. My condolences go out to her family and her loved ones, those that were close to her, because I can't just say specifically about breast cancer, but cancer, I would imagine, like Talent said, has touched everyone in our nation, some shape, form, or fashion. I actually lost my mom to cancer, lung cancer, and it spread. So it's a difficult thing, man, and it's the one thing that this country and our medical system has never really got their hands on to find a cure for it. And, hopefully they do, you know what I mean? But the treatment and stuff like that is out there, but, it's not 100%. And hopefully we can do away with it. And I just like to echo these words that we hear all the time. Cancer sucks.
Yeah, it really does. Mike Sean, you wanted to give a quick shout out to anybody in your family or anything about breast cancer awareness, make some acknowledgement about that, and also speaking on Tiffany Jackson passing away, because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I mean, Tiffany Jackson, rest in peace. And I have people that literally are going through cancer right now.
Right.
Shawnee, shout out to her. And she's gone through a lot that has happened that she's had to go through. So I want to be funny, but Shawnee, I love you.
Right. All right, let's keep the show moving because that's what we got to do. We're gonna bring it back to the funniness. We're gonna talk about some things like obviously with comedy and sports. And let's first up, man, my man Albert Pujols has passed Babe Ruth. Passed. He got that number. He was trying to get number 703. He ended up knocking that in. He got that in. And the funny thing is and not so funny actually, it's not all over the news. You know what I mean? Like you'd expect it to be. I mean, yeah, he did get it. He did. It was a line item and everything else, but this is a huge thing, T. Albert Pujols actually broke Babe Ruth's record. It's been standing up for Lord knows how long. What's your take on this, bro?
Well, white people letting you know that, Babe Ruth is the Brett Favre of baseball.
Oh, my God.
We're not going to talk about it. That's the funniest thing in the world. It's funny when you want to downplay something. We're like, oh, my God, he broke Babe Ruth. Everybody like, settle down. Let us check the number. This is great, right? Like, I hate that, celebration is so biased these days. Like, this is the record. You broke the record. Everybody should be celebrating, jumping through hoops. It should be running in heavy rotation on every sports channel right now. It's not. It's a mention. Like it's nothing because that's how they look at Babe. They love Babe. One thing about, I get white people, they're consistent on their version of history.
Oh my God!
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Fig, talk to me, man. Tell me what you think about Albert Pujols breaking the record. They showed on SportsCenter the guy had the ball. He's like, somebody walked up to me, offered me $100,000 for this ball. It's not leaving my hands. He was really excited. People in the stands excited. Everybody excited except the networks. The networks aren't excited. Albert Pujols did break Babe Ruth's record, man. What's up?
You know what the problem is? I think it's indicative of what we're doing with baseball. You know what I mean? It's a baseball thing. I don't think it's so much. It's the record. It's just that baseball has taken a backseat to the two. There's three top sports here in America. You have your football first, basketball, then it's baseball. But they're still hanging on to baseball as America's pastime. No, it's not. No, it's not. It really isn't. And that's probably why the networks are not covering baseball the same with the same fervor and energy that they cover the NBA and the NFL, because baseball is kind of taking a back seat. And Babe Ruth, there's a lot of generation that have no idea who Babe Ruth is. There's a generation right now that think Babe Ruth is a candy bar.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mike Sean, talk to me, man, about your thoughts on Albert Pujols breaking Babe Ruth's record, man. We should literally be having this with fireworks and everything. That's what I think should happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing feat that he's taken on, but like everybody said in the squares, it's baseball. And we don't F with baseball like that. So we're not overly impressed with everything that goes on with Albert Pujols. What he's doing is amazing. Like, dude, he's doing this at an age that is so crazy that he's still being able to be this productive. So shout to him. But unfortunately, baseball's turned into, like Fig said, the third sport that we watch and that we check out. But in New York it's different. But I hate to say, I agree with Fig. I agree with Fig. All
right, let's keep it moving. My man, Monty, man, before we jump into the NFL, because last night was Monday Night Football game, I want to talk about a little bit about basketball real quick. I was watching the Brooklyn Nets game last night as they played Philly. I saw Ben Simmons make his debut. I got to say, they can be scary, bro. I saw the game. I was watching how they were playing it. They didn't play the starters like the way they could and everything else, but when they were playing all together, They were down by 25. They closed that gap literally in 4.5 minutes. They literally closed that gap. Made it to down to 5, but maybe 3.5 minutes with Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and KD on the floor at the same time. They could be scary if they figure things out. What you think about, even though they lost the game? What you think about Ben Simmons making his debut, even though they lost to Philly and everything else? What you thought?
Well, remember, I picked that team as one of those teams that's going to surprise people. I think they're gonna get it together, man. I mean, you gotta realize, man. I think we underestimate how all that went down over there in Brooklyn. The whole shift in to get Ben Simmons. Like, we underestimate the turmoil that caused on top of what they were going through with the Kyrie thing and the vaccination thing at the same time. That it was hard to kind of glue it back together enough time to gel to get in a couple of rounds in the playoffs. I think we underestimate that. And now we're seeing when they're on the floor and they got time to, acclimate themselves to each other's play and get that continuity going. I picked them as that team to make a big turnaround. Everything that we thought was going to happen a year prior, I get ready for it this year.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Fig, I'm not sure if you were able to see the game or you just saw the highlights. Tell me what you're thinking real fast. If you saw anything of Ben Simmons making his Brooklyn Nets debut, what was your take?
I mean, it's good to see the young talent player back on the court and stuff like that. Here's the thing. People are projecting them to contend for the championship and stuff like that. But they were down 25.
Mm-hmm.
You're down 25. You know what that tells me? You're not playing a lot of defense. And I don't care how prolific your offense is. If you don't establish yourself on the defensive end of the basketball court or end of the basketball game, you're not going to win. And that is the only reason why I am not so super excited about what the Brooklyn Nets could do, because I just don't know where their defensive prowess is. I know that they're offensive juggernauts, but on the defensive end, if you can't stop anybody, you're probably not going to win the championship.
But it's preseason. Do you think they should be playing that heavy?
I mean, listen. They didn't have any last year or the year before that. I think if you're gonna play defense, now would be the time to try and implement it during the preseason, because once the season starts, it's too late.
Yeah. Mike Sean, what's your take on Ben Simmons being able to gel with the boys and run up down the court with and he looked like he was back his old season 4. What's your take on that, bro?
No, I really understood now that we really underestimated what he was going through. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, like, when it comes to mental health, he wasn't right. And now he is about to be right. And this team is going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. And they might actually, with what the Celtics are going through, they might be the favorites to come out the East.
Who might be?
The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets might be the favorites to come out the East. Like, they really might come out there, and with Kevin Durant and everybody, Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, you might be watching a team that winds up in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, maybe, but I kind of hard to say that when you don't play defense. I mean, we'll see.
But they do. But go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No.
They do. But you're talking about a preseason game, so nobody's playing defense.
Yeah, but
Ben Simmons. If there's one thing that Ben Simmons can do, is play defense. Like, Ben Simmons can guard the best person on your team as a swingman and guard him. So they will play defense. It's preseason.
Pause.
Talent. Also,
sorry,
last night,
my bad, my bad.
Last night, the Lakers ended up playing last night too. They got blown out. The score looked like the score. That's why I put up the score right there so you can see it. It even was bigger than that during the game.
Oh my God.
So what are we going to talk about right now? Again, is it still too early? Should Lakers fans be concerned? I saw a little bit of it, man. It didn't. Believe me when I tell you, the score looks kind. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see any cohesiveness with the Lakers at all. You know what I mean? But again, to be completely fair, the Lakers did not play a lot of their stars either. So are we panicking too soon? Or what's your thoughts on when you hear about the Lakers got blown out by the Sacramento Kings?
Like, it's been that, like with LeBron when he got to the Lakers, man. Ever since then, The Lakers it's going to come down to barbershops and haircuts. You know, if you look at the team, man, if LeBron come in there with that fake hairdo, it's going to be a bad season. If LeBron coming in on some, if he coming in on some real, you know, shaved it down, it is what it is. I'm 20 years in the game. Let's go. They're going to win. That's all it's going to come down to. It's too soon. It's preseason. We're just looking at, I think, just like I always say about, like when you watch something like the Super Bowl, that first quarter ain't that's a filling me out quarter. Everybody's nervous. They want to fill everything out, get acclimated. I think that's what preseason is, especially with these teams that got these high expectations. I think they want to fill everything out. They're not going to go but so hard, Frank, because it's an injury-prone team.
Right.
So because you're an injury-prone team, how hard do you expect them to go in preseason?
Hey, I can't knock that either. But again, you know, they did lose. But Fig, it's like Brooklyn. Do they need to get some cohesiveness also? Because Lakers got a lot of new players also, man. They're trying to figure it out too. Brooklyn's trying to get figured out. Lakers trying to figure it out. Are we panicking too soon?
Yeah, probably after the first game. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people project the Lakers to do something spectacular. I'm not one of those people, so I'm not expecting a lot of them simply because people underestimate chemistry and cohesiveness on the basketball court. And when that stuff really comes into play, I'm gonna keep pounding this. Pause. Defense wins your championships. Offense fills the stands, but the defense is how you win championships. God bless you. And if you can't stop anybody on defense, you let the Kings get to 105 while you're only at 75 points, even in a preseason game. That's telling me that your defense is lacking. The same way I said about the Brooklyn Nets.
All right, so Mike, the last two seasons, the Lakers won the NBA championship, and then they didn't even make the playoffs. So, you know, because a lot of injuries and everything else. What would be your outlook right now on looking at the Lakers starting the third season with everybody that they got together? Is it cohesiveness, or did they got blown out too early, too soon? What you think?
Dog, it's preseason. It's preseason. Like, nobody is worrying about this. Like, the Lakers will make the playoffs this season. I'm not saying they'll win a championship, but they will make the playoffs. They will get in the playoff hunt. But with basketball might be worse than NFL preseason. These cats are really just trying to get loose again and trying to get back open to what they do. So if you're over 30, you're like, what are we worried about preseason? So when you're 25 and you're 24, you're trying to prove something. If you're over 30, you're not trying to prove something during preseason. So I think we're overrating this right now.
I can't even disagree with any, because, you know, it to me, I got to be honest. To me, it's so soon in the season. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Hey Frank, after when Larry Bird was 32 years old, did he worry about preseason?
I don't know, but that's not the topic. So we.
You know what's funny?
Okay,
Mike always talked to Frank in Boston.
Yeah, Larry Bird didn't give a damn about preseason.
Frank is the only Spanish guy on the show. Frank, let me ask you this: and Danny Ainge and
yes, and Danny Ainge, give a damn.
Is it Robert Parrish?
Yes, give a damn about preseason when he's over 30 years old.
Well,
I love it.
The reason why this is a topic is because obviously we all know people are panicking about the Lakers. I think it's too soon to be concerned about any of this stuff. I think it's too early to be concerned about Brooklyn, the Lake. I think you should be concerned 3 months in. You know what I mean? Come January, February, let's look at everybody's record, see where they at. Because, you know, look at the Celtics. They came in January. They were in the 11th seed slot in the playoffs. They made a run and ended up going straight to the finals. So
be worried about your coach.
Don't worry about that. You ain't worried about any of that stuff. I'm gonna start to be petty with you in a second, Mike. Keep it up. It's coming.
Right. No, be worried about your coach. Be worried about that. Be worried about that.
It's coming. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's see. The next topic is I want to bring up is Tyler Hero got locked in a nice contract. with the Brooklyn, with the Miami Heat. He got a 4-year, $130 million contract extension with Miami. He was disappointed. He wasn't an NBA All-Star, chosen to the All-Star. Like he had a lot of issues and everything else with that. Do you think the Heat locking up Tyler Hero was a good move for them, or should they have traded him while they had the chance? What's your take on this, Steve?
I think it was a decent move. I just love how the NBA they have a very weird way of doing things. Like you don't have to be good for a very long time to get a big contract. All you gotta do is hit some shots at the right times, and next thing you know, you're worth $130 million. Back in our original day of watching, nobody could have got this kind of money for what he did. But we don't live in them times no more. The game has changed. I think it behooves him. I think it in a long term is going to work for them, because when you give a guy like that, like I'm saying, I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. Like he can't believe the life he's living right now. But it enhances and lights a flame under him. Hopefully, good players and great players, they get ignited off of stuff like this, and they show and prove even extra, so it'll work out for the organization. But in the front end of it, immediately works out for the guy catching the check.
Yeah, it really does. Fig, do you think the Miami Heat keeping Tyler Hero was a great move for them? What's your take?
When I think about it, man, I think maybe they had to give him this money because if not, they were going to lose him. So you pay a guy to keep him, and then you might end up trading him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Huh?
They might still trade him because he's perfect trade bait now too. He might.
That's what I think, man. And sometimes the NBA will give you like a team will give you money so you can match up salaries with a player that you actually want. And I think maybe that's what they did with Hero. I mean, he's knocked down some open shots, but at the end of the day, it's like Talon said, man. It's a lot to give what we would consider like a jump shooter.
Yeah, I have to say that. Mike, keeping Tyler Hero a good thing, good move for them?
Well, whenever Talon used the word behoove, then it's when Talon says behoove,
yeah,
that's when I fall back. I'm like, you know what? He right.
Maybe something in that.
There's something going on when Talon says behooved. So I'm like, all right, well, then behooved. Because the Heat have a plan. They have a plan. Pat Riley has a plan. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if they should have given him $130 million. But since Talon said behoove, give him the money. And you take the money, and the salary cap is going to be something that's going to hem you up, and you're going to have to figure out, how can I make an entire team to beat the Bucks? How can I make an entire team to beat the Sixers? How can I make an entire team to win an NBA championship? If you put that much money in a person that does not dominate the game, which he doesn't dominate the game, he's a good player, but he doesn't dominate, then go figure it out. It behooves me to think this.
In other behoove news, the Clippers ended up putting it together. They defeated Portland 102-97. People are talking about John Wall had such a good game. People also talk about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi ended up saying, let me see if I could find it. Kawhi said it was great to be able to play with the team together, and he loved the team chemistry that they've been building up right now. So Kawhi is saying all the right things. He's back. Yeah, he added a good 7 to 15 pounds of muscle. So people are saying, you know what, Kawhi has kept it. The Clippers might be the scary team to come out of the West. Your thoughts, Steve?
I said it. I told you. I believe the hype, bro. I believe the hype. You don't get as good as a Kawhi Leonard and just go off into the sunset like that. What you did get is a whole year rest.
Right.
You come out fresh, and now that's an advantage on everybody else who kept playing through the games and the camps and the practices. You practice when you wanted to. You just stay working out, stay in shape, but you got a year's rest that's to be accounted for. You know what I mean? So I believe the hype when. I don't think Paul George would just go out on a limb out of the blue and surprise everybody with these little tweets and these little statements and announcements. I think he's seeing behind the curtain. He's behind the curtain, and he's seeing it, and he's like, oh, we got a hell of a year. You can feel it. If you already do what you do and got as far as you did with all the mishaps, and you right now with your peoples and you practicing, you're like, yo, we about to be fired.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a personal eye on how they doing myself. My man Fig, talk to me. What's your thoughts on this whole Clippers thing coming and actually putting up 102 on a good Portland team with some good defense?
Portland. Yep. That's the team that everybody is looking at to do something very spectacular and special. The Portland Trailblazers. That's what we're looking at. Portland Trailblazers ain't gonna do nothing. And let me tell you something. The Clippers are going to be very interesting. They're going to be very entertaining. But at the end of the day, when it all boils down, when we hit the playoffs, we'll see who's left standing. Because they're two top players. As a matter of fact, if you add John Wall as the third one, 3 of their top players are injury prone. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, John Wall. This is like a game of attrition. Let's see who lasts. I need to see who's going to be there at the end. That's what I'm thinking about. If they all healthy, they're going to be a problem. Right. But I'm not sure they all going to be healthy. You got 3 injury prone. Your top 3 players are all injury prone. The chances of all 3 of them making it through the entire season.
Yeah, that's definitely that's facts. That's facts. Mike Sean, what's your take on the excitement coming out of LA in the Clippers side of things?
I mean, Paul George was healthy last year. Yeah, Fig's right. Kawhi Leonard hasn't played since the late 90s. But if everybody's good, but this goes with every sport, every football team, every baseball team, every NBA team. If everybody's good, they're a problem. You really can't defend those 3 guys if everybody's good. Now, it's always a toss-up. Like, you're always wondering, we've had players that have been injured for 2 years before. So we'll see. Like, if they're good, the Lakers have a problem on their hands. Like, all of a sudden, that Staples Center, or whatever they call it now, is going to turn into a Clipper Nation. If those 3 guys stay healthy, it's, and I hate to say it, LeBron's going to have a super problem if those 3 guys stay healthy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's move to Monday Night Football, T. I got to say, I know there are some people right now who are sitting here saying San Francisco could be 4-0 if Jimmy G had started. Let's look at the facts. The facts are this. Nick Bosa says the San Francisco 49ers defense has the personnel to be the best in the league. They sacked Stafford 7 times. The Rams lost to the 49ers 24-9. They got dominated the whole game from the kickoff, bro. It was a hell of a game. What's your take right now on the 49ers defeating the Rams on Monday Night Football, T? What's your take?
It was a nice game to watch, man. Went along with my tequila just perfect. That's what you want. On a Monday night, you got your tequila right there. You want some excitement. It was a good game. Big screen TV. Jimmy G, man, he's one of those guys you shake your head when you watch because a healthy Jimmy G's dope. You know it. He got what it takes. He's the golden boy, whatever you want to call him. But he does it every time. You get hype, you give about 2-3 good ones, and then a mosquito bite him on the ankle or the knee, and he's out. And then he always leaves these little injuries, and then he's done. So I'm praying for Jimmy G. While everybody else is applauding and say, "Oh, you should have started," I'm going to pray this season that he just holds up and does more like this because San Fran needed it. San Fran needed it. If that was a healthy Rams team, we might have seen a little more action. He didn't get any action as a quarterback. He didn't get his 0 sacks versus I think they sacked the Strappers 7 times.
Yeah.
7 or 8. 7 or 8.
But the problem is, Fig, I'm gonna say this, man. I think the Rams need Odell Beckham. I don't even know why they ain't called him yet. I don't understand. They only get.
I said the same thing.
I don't understand. I don't get it. But let's look at the facts. The facts are this: Jimmy G didn't get sacked. the Raiders Stafford got sacked 7 times. You know what I mean? So what's your take on the 49ers defeating the Rams?
It sounds like the 49ers were playing defense. Wow. Here's the thing, man. I kept trying to tell everybody, man, when people was like, Jimmy G is this, Jimmy G is that. I was like, that's a good quarterback over there. And if you can protect him and he stays healthy, that dude can win you a Super Bowl. I don't care what you say about Jimmy G. That's a bad boy over there. And no quarterback is any good when he doesn't have an offensive line that can protect him. Now, I don't care who you put out there as a receiver. Odell Beckham, Randy Moss. You just name some of the top receivers in the NFL. If your quarterback is running for his life, they can't help you. They can't. The first thing you need to do if you want to win in the NFL is be able to protect the most important player on your team. That's like playing chess, and on the first couple of moves, you lose your queen. You can't do that and win. You can't.
Yeah, Mike Sean, what's your take, man? Because honestly, I thought that after watching that game, the 49ers look like they have at least top 5 best defense in the league right now. You know what I mean? Like
they do when you don't have a guy to stretch the defense. Pause. Like if I'm them right now, I call Deshaun Jackson and I'm sitting there going like, are you in shape? Because we need somebody to stretch the defense. A strong safety should not intercept a screen pass. And that's simply because they kept everything in front of them. They kept the whole offense in front of them. And they were able to capitalize on the fact that there was nobody they were scared of.
Mm-hmm.
Odell Beckham makes a big difference if he's the same person. Simply because you just tell him, run. Just run. Just run down the field. So the strong safety isn't there. So everybody isn't locked up, and you're throwing screen passes, and you're getting a pick 6. Like they have no deep threat. Allen Robinson is not a deep threat. He's been exposed. He's not a deep threat right now. But if you get one, Matthew Stafford turns into a different quarterback.
Yeah. I said, look at this. Rodney Perry is in the building. Rodney Perry joining the show. Rodney Perry up there. Rodney, I'm sorry. We got you eating lunch. I'm sorry. Rodney, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Lovely, man. Absolutely fantastic.
Rodney.
So, Rodney, talk to me, man. Did you see the game last night? You see the Niners defeat the Rams last night?
I did not see the game at all.
So turn his square off. Turn his square off right now. Turn his square off right
now. I went to the situation, for David Arnold last night. So I was unable
sorry about
to
that.
the game.
Sorry about that.
But thank you, 49ers, for smashing them guys. Because how are you, buddy?
All right, so we're gonna watch Rodney say hi to everybody.
Rodney saying what up to people. He like, what up?
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving.
He's shaking hands and kissing babies. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. Let me just say this too. See, a couple days ago, there was news that came out in the morning. We didn't really talk about it. I want to definitely talk about it. J.J. Watt almost passed away a couple of days ago. It wasn't put on anything like. The crazy thing about this is he had a brush with death, and he had a defibrillator shock him in his heart to come back. After we going through all this stuff going on, J.J. Watt is upset at the Arizona Cardinals for leaking out the news. He thinks that somebody leaked out the news from the Arizona Cardinals situation. This is all we going on with all this with Tua and everything else. What's going on with the NFL, T? What's your take on this entire situation with these players who be seen to be used as meat, or however you want to call it, like that?
The difference in this Watt situation is he sounds like he want to be used as meat. Like when you say why you leak it, bro, you almost died. That's not a leak. You almost died. My son just went through this a month ago. That's not a leak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's definitive news if I've ever heard it. If a player almost dies, I have to bring the defibrillator out and shock him back to life. That's instant news. I don't care where that happens at.
Yeah.
I could be at the corner of my barber shop. Some lady falls down. They got ambulance coming. They got to bring her back. We talking about that.
Yeah, but T, he not only did he talk about it, he played on Sunday. Let's talk about that, T. Talk about that. He played on Sunday.
Here's the thing. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that athletes are big babies. They might be strong men, do what they do, hard hitting football, boxers, jumping through the gym, basketball, tennis. I don't care what the sport is. Athletes are big babies. They're equivalent to what you always hear, that doctors make the worst patients. So a football player who wants to play the game is no better. So you got a flawed specimen playing in a flawed system. He just as bad as the league, you ask me. The league shouldn't be letting him play and knowing that information. But him being a player, nobody knows it like him. He was the dead person. He the walking dead. And you didn't shut down the league. You didn't say, hey, man, I can't play. Y'all see what just happened. You said I'm going in. And now that it leaked out what happened, now everybody pissed off? Come on, bro.
Yeah. Fig, what's your take? Because last Wednesday, he was on defibrillator. The same week we were dealing with the Tua situation, he was on defibrillator, and then he played on Sunday. What's your take on that, bro?
Well, first, before I say anything, man, I just want to give a quick shout out to Dave, the business bully. I spoke to him earlier today. He told me to tell everybody on here, hello. He's expecting to come back on Monday. And last but not least, he told me to tell y'all the Eagles are undefeated. Now getting back to JJ, man, he has what I think they diagnosed him with atrial fibrillation, which means, the rhythm of your heart is off. And they shocked him, with a defibrillator to put his heart back in rhythm. I read about this story, and what they said was, there's nothing you can do to make it better. And the doctors couldn't tell him that whether it would happen again anytime soon or whether it would happen again in 20 years from now. There's no real treatment or anything that they can give you. Time is not going to make it better. So for that reason, JJ Watt made a decision that, look, if it ain't going to get any worse and it can't get any better, then why am I not going to play football on Sunday? He said, this is what I do. This is how I make my money. This is how I take care of my family. This is what I love. So he went out there and did that.
Okay, Mike Sean, the rebuttal of that could be the timing of it, or am I wrong? What's your take on that, Mike?
And I hate to say this in all the squares. We don't care. We just want to see football every Thursday, every Sunday, every Monday. And until the NFL takes responsibility for what's going on, until the players union decides that there's got to be things done to save these guys against themselves, we're going to keep watching. I always had this one comment. If somebody were in a Super Bowl to die, would they stop the game? No. They wouldn't stop the game. They'd keep the game going. And it's the ruthless part of football. It's the reason why Earl Campbell is basically, if he's still alive, can't walk. It's the reason why Junior Seau shot himself in his heart so that they could see what was going on. Like, the NFL needs to take responsibility, but the NFL's player union needs to take responsibility and say, hey, we need to be not treated like meat, pause. We need to be not treated like a product, and we need to be taken care of. But we don't care, because all we want is to bet fantasy football. All we want is to bet our games on DraftKings or whatever it is. We don't care what goes on in actuality. And it might sound ruthless and sad, but we don't. We want our entertainment. That's what we want.
Roddy Gray, what's your take on this, bro? JJ Watt, worst timing possible ever, or what's your take?
I disagree with Talon and Mike. It's his business, man. As a person who went through a catastrophic illness, people look at you differently when you recover. I mean, I deal with it even now, 6 years removed, and people still will have conversations, man. Is he cool? You know, I had a producer come to me like, yo, man, I want to just have a chat with you. I'm like, nigga, that was 6 years ago. You know, so regular people start acting like doctors. And if the doctors say you can play, you can play. Period. It's not an indictment on the NFL. It's not an indictment on JJ Watt. I mean, if he gets like we saw it a week ago about the guy, why they didn't take him out with the concussion. Well, somebody approved it. And so I think a guy like JJ Watt knows his body, and he's a warrior. And he would rather leave it on the field if he could. And so because these men are warriors, they have a different mind state, and I think that it creates an atmosphere where they will rather go on that field. Do I think they need somebody to help them police themselves? I don't think so. You know, we got the best medical people in the world to tell you if you can go or not. This is not the 70s where they would just stick you with some pain pill and say, get back out there. It's a different time now. And I think because of that, they trust their medical staff, and they should be able to get back out there and play without, it becoming news.
Right.
Can I just ask something, Rodney? And I mean no disrespect by this.
Mm-hmm.
When your doctor gave you advice on what to change in your lifestyle, did you take it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, the Miami Dolphins put this guy back out, Tua, back out in 5 days after a concussion. Because
it was never diagnosed a concussion.
They lied, Rodney. They lied. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep it going because we can talk about that forever too. Talent. Let me ask you this to keep it moving. Speak on what Rodney said about going on what people are saying and things like that. People are saying Kyrie Irving is a buffoon, and the number one person saying that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He called out Kyrie Irving on a certain about his take and stands on COVID and not playing. And do you think it's going to affect Kyrie Irving when a national treasure in the NBA calls you out like that? And I mean, he called him a lot more stuff, but the biggest quote stands out is that he called him a buffoon. What you think Kyrie Irving's take is going to be on that when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar calls him that?
It ain't gonna matter. Only people who listen to Kareem is us regular people. The league don't listen to Kareem. Kareem, one of those pro-black brothers that when he made his stance, the league kind of real softly separated from Kareem, or else we'd be seeing Kareem everywhere, league-related. So I don't think league-wise it matters, but I think public opinion, it stirs up a lot of conversations. But if you're a strong person, Frank, the truth of the matter is, no matter what the murmurs are and the rumors are and what people may feel about you and think about you, you press on. It don't affect you. It don't affect you. Like, you know how many dudes, girls I smashed over the years? I never missed a punchline. I never missed timing. I never drank one less Heineken.
Never.
You press on. No, you do what you do. You press on. I mean, it sounded ruthless the way I put it out there, but I didn't mean to.
So how many though, Tyler? How many over the years?
Rodney, damn. we up. Hey, Rodney, we up in that Wilt now. Damn.
Will?
Please don't tell me one girl was named Lachey. No, I'm playing.
You playing, right?
No, I'm serious. Because you was in Philly.
No, but I mean, I think Kyrie has shown us one thing. Whether you agree with him or disagree with how he do things, he don't give a F.
Yeah, wow.
All right, so let's keep it moving. Rapid fire questions. Fig, your question is going to be: Tua is ruled out for Week 5 versus the Jets bro, do you think that Miami's trajectory is going to go the other way and Tua needs to come back sooner? What's your take?
In Tua's case, with a brain injury, what a concussion is, I think they need to err on the side of caution, because what actually happened was they fired the doctors that diagnosed him the first time.
Yeah, they did.
Which means that they were in cahoots with the team, and he basically, he does have a lawsuit.
Man,
because he does have a he does have a lawsuit because they misdiagnosed him and put him out there in harm's way. So if he can't go another game, he could sue the NFL and win more money than he could ever make while he's playing. And let me tell you something.
Exactly.
After this contract is over, he might not get another one. As good as he played, after this contract is over, he might not get another one. If I was him, I'd think very seriously about a lawsuit as opposed to trying to get back on the field and play at a high level because the doctors misdiagnosed him and put his life in jeopardy.
Mike Sean, the New York Giants, Daniel Jones is showing improvement after he got hurt, came out and had to go back in the game last week. People are up in arms about the QB situation coming out of New York because they're getting ready to play Green Bay Packers this week, man. Concerned about coming out for the Giants? I know you're a huge Giants fan. What's your take?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. But he's played behind that horrible offensive line for all these years, and they're finally going to have to understand that who was the person that was drafting these offensive linemen. Like, this guy's he's on the run every time. He can be in shotgun, and he can be in the shotgun 30 yards behind the center, and they still get pressure on him. Like, it's the same way I said about Saquon Barkley. I'm like, dog, once he gets the ball, he has to make a cut because there's somebody already over the offensive line that's already penetrated pause on everything. So, yeah, I think Daniel Jones could have been a very good quarterback. Not great, a very good quarterback.
Definitely could have been serviceable. Rodney Perry, your Atlanta Falcons started out the season 0-2. Now they won the last two games. Cordell Patterson got hurt, you know what I mean? But people are saying in Atlanta, especially the Atlanta sports media, that the Falcons might have arrived. You watch the Falcons, I'm sure. What's the talk around in Atlanta? People excited about Atlanta right now? What's the talk?
Of course, the Atlanta faithful are always excited, man. Every year, it's like the Giants. Every year, they get excited about these guys and they let them down. I personally, the best player on the Atlanta Falcons right now is the kicker, Koo. He's averaging 14 or 15 fantasy points a week. But other than that, man, the Falcons are struggling, dude. And they have won a couple of games, but it's fool's gold, man. I think the Falcons are gonna be 11 tiny balls of doo-doo.
11. See, the Washington Commanders coach Ron Rivera says to obviously the Washington fans that you're frustrated. We started 1-3. We want to do something. Don't worry about us. But right now, do you think that like Rodney Perry says all the time? Do you think the Washington Commanders are a steaming pile of doo-doo also? Do you think that?
Absolutely. Did anybody go to jail yet?
Not yet.
Ain't we waiting for somebody to go to jail? I don't care how they lock him up. Somebody get locked up. Say he did something to Emmett Till again. Listen, here's the thing. That team needs help in more ways than one. On the field, off the field, they're going through turmoil. We've seen this. What's funny is we're still expecting things from them and the Raiders to happen good on the field when we said before the season started that there's so much internal turmoil that's going to be hard to do business as usual. And I think that's what we're seeing. You know what I mean? They need help, man. I think that clearly you probably got guys, and this is how it is. When you're blinded with other things and diverted your attention, there's probably guys sitting down, not starting, that's better than their starting components. You know, the team players, and they're not in right now. So it's looking like a mess on the field.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everybody gonna beat the Commanders, bro.
Everybody, you hear that? You hear that? Fig? Everybody gonna beat the Commanders. Kenny Pickett is now announced, Fig, as he is now going to be the official starter moving forward. You know, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talk to me about, you know, I think you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan right now. Talk to me about what your take on Pittsburgh being announcing that. Yeah. And then do you think they're going to go to the playoffs? Because a lot of experts now are saying they don't even think they're going to win 7 games.
I projected that Kenny Pickett would probably play round about game 4, 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I thought they'd play Mitch Trubisky, and then at that stage they put this young quarterback in to see if he could do better than Mitch Trubisky. Are they going to the playoffs? If Mike Tomlin purchases some tickets for them, they'll probably get there. Yeah, they you know, if charter a flight and purchase them tickets, they going. But listen, if we hang on the fact that Tomlin hasn't had a losing season, maybe they squeak in depending on how bad the rest of their conference does. They might squeak in on the back end. Pause. They might get in there, but they probably not going to make any noise because unless every other aspect of your team is dominant, how many times can you win an NFL championship or playoff game with a rookie quarterback? It just doesn't happen.
Trying to tell you. Fig said, if my aunt had nuts, it'd be my uncle. That's hilarious. Like that's just how it would be.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's true.
It's true. It's true. Mike Sean, Dallas Cowboys right now are creating this big turmoil about this QB situation. I'm like, yeah, that's not it, right? That shouldn't be it, right? We shouldn't be talking about the Cowboys like this, but people are. So, what do you think? Are people getting ahead of themselves?
No, because their defense is really good, and I hate to admit to this, but their defense is really good, and Dak Prescott has got pressure on him right now. Like if Dak Prescott comes back in and they lose 2 or 3 games, they're going to be calling for the white dude. Like that's what's going to happen. But their defense is solid for real. Like their defense is a problem. And I think Fig said it earlier in the show about defense. If you can have a defense that can hold people under 20 points, guess what's going to happen? You're going to the playoffs. And you're going to go deep into the playoffs if that defense can be consistent. And not only do they have Parsons, not only do they have Stephon Diggs, they got a defensive line that is putting pressure on people without blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you can do that and you can cause havoc. That was my word for the day, y'all. That was my word.
That's all you got, huh? That's all you got.
That was it.
That's a GED word right there.
No, that was a GED word.
That's a member of Mob D.
Yes. But when you can do that and you don't have to bring your safeties up to blitz and you don't have to take chances, well, guess what you got? You got a defense that's going to get you to the playoffs. So as much as I hate to admit, the Dallas Cowboys are probably going to be a problem along with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Here it is.
Hey Frank, I heard an NFL coach say the object of every defense in the NFL is to hold a team to about 17 points. And they think that's a manageable win right there. If you can hold an opposition to 17, you can probably manage yourself a win.
Yeah, you could. Tomorrow we're gonna have to talk about a little bit more about Major League Baseball because wild card playoffs are starting. I'm interested to see who you guys are gonna take. So and then I'm interested to see if I for some reason I keep going back to the Subway Series. I have a strong feeling that we're gonna have a Subway Series because the Mets and the Yankees are gonna turn it around. But I've been shocked before because baseball's so up in the air, you never know. We're gonna talk about that, and then we got to talk about tomorrow. We got to talk about the Miami Heat are playing. This week they're playing the Brooklyn Nets. ESPN got a big highlight on that. They're playing them in a couple of days. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too. But T, talk to me, man. Tell me everybody out there how they can follow you.
Hey, listen, follow your boy on Instagram, Talent the Comedian. Twitter, it's just comedy. New York King Talent on Facebook. Either way, follow your man and check them shows out. Post everything every day. Don't you want to miss the show, especially the homecoming for New Brunswick, Rutgers University. I'll be there headlining Stress Factory 21st, 22nd. Come check it out.
Yeah, are you booked every weekend? It seems like you're booked every weekend.
Yeah, you should be. As a good comedian, you know, you want to have less time on your hands. I mean, your house gonna be junky as shit, but
as he looks around.
but you make them money.
Craig, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Yeah, man, Talon is absolutely right, because my wife is like, you got a lot of time on your hands. Why is this house so junky? Yo, I'm looking for. You can find me at Comedian Figure, and I'm looking forward to a Subway series because the Italian BMT is amazing at Subway. And always remember, eat fresh.
I'm going to erase that out because we don't give no free ads on the show. We don't do
Subway.
I'm going to edit that part out. I'm just playing. Mike, tell everybody how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, follow me at Mike Sean Comedy and understand Brittany Griner is still in jail. So,
oh my God,
at some point, people are gonna have to speak up and be like, "Why is she still in Russia in jail right now?"
And why is no one on these sports media shows talking about her? Like it's like she's a bookmark, and we moved on. The show's called Box Seats. We're on Humor Mill 3 times a day. Coming back up a repeat of 7 and 11. Thank all to who's watching, and of course our continued support system for all the ladies who are watching and the gentlemen who are watching. And special shout out to Renee for sending me that breast cancer awareness thing. I completely forgot about that, which is crazy because it definitely affected my family. So shout out to that too. Let's keep it moving. So tomorrow we'll be back. Thank you all for watching. The show's called Box Seats. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you to Rodney Perry who was in today. Obviously another shout out to the business bully. Prayers up to his family because you know I don't even talk about what's going on with his family, but prayers up to his family too. So we'll see y'all again. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir.
Peace.